of his enormous size and molten lava deep voice, he held her gently, his big hands spanning her waist, an expression of tenderness softening his masculine features. "Wayne," she murmured in surrender. "Olivia," he replied. "Olivia," someone else called out. Hadn't they been alone? She turned back to the trees, but they had all disappeared into the thick clouds. "Olivia," the other voice said again. Wayne's arms were no longer around her, though something held her snugly. She could still taste his incredible scent and feel his warmth. "Oh, God, she was sleeping. I'm so sorry," her friend Ruby's voice whispered. Sleeping. She'd been dreaming. She'd known that, but then it had started to seem so real. The jungle was gone now. She could feel the rumble of the van, the seatbelt snug against her hip. But Wayne was still there. She must have fallen asleep on the way from the airport to the resort and slumped over onto him as she slept. He smelled incredible, and she could feel warm muscle against her cheek even through his t-shirt. All she wanted was to breathe him in. Instead, she sat up quickly, blinking and stretching so he wouldn't think she had stayed there, soaking him in on purpose. "Hello, Olivia," he said. Dear God, his deep voice made her name sound like a sexy moan even when she was awake. "Hello, Wayne," she said crisply, smoothing her skirt over her legs and patting her hair. "Sorry about that. I fell asleep." Wow. She was the queen of the obvious now. Which was fine as long as her dumb statements didn't betray her helpless attraction. "You may sleep with me any time," he told her solemnly. She wondered if he understood the meaning of those words. She doubted it. The men from Planet Airy were far too polite to proposition a woman in a van full of people. Ruby giggled from her seat up front, next to Parker. "How long was I out?" Olivia asked. "About an hour," Margot told her. "You have missed seeing many trees and small houses," Kent said, "but we have seen no monkeys and no sloths." The six of them had traveled together all the way to Costa Rica, studying up on their destination on the flight. They were all excited to see monkeys and sloths. "Well, I'm glad I didn't miss the first sloth sighting," Olivia said. "Is Al getting some footage of this drive?" "He knew you would ask that," Ruby said. "He texted earlier for us to let you know he got tons of it." "Excellent," Olivia said, smiling at her friends. Producing and hosting a major reality show was exhausting, and she had just shot 2 in a row. This would be the third. But she had made great friends along the way, and their success pretty much guaranteed she could write her ticket when she got back to Hollywood. She was hoping that meant a full-length feature or documentary. Legit stuff. The kind of filmmaking that could make a difference in the world. The kind that meant she could get out from in front of the camera and focus on producing and directing. "How much longer until we get there?" Parker asked, making Olivia think of her younger sister on family car trips when they were kids. "Maybe another hour," Ruby told him, smiling indulgently. "Are you getting restless?" "I have been on a spaceship that traveled light years to find you," he told her. "But, yes, I am getting restless, actually." Olivia smiled. These men from Airy, if you could call them men, they inhabited human forms, but they were so different in many ways. She admired Ruby and Margot for marrying Parker and Kent. They were signing on for a lot more than loving a big hunky guy. They would be teaching their new husbands how to be human for the rest of their lives, lives that would now belong, at least in part, to the public. And that's another good reason not to fall for Wayne, her inner critic pointed out. She wanted to tell her inner critic not to worry about it. Obviously, she wasn't going to trade away her career by getting personally involved with the subject of her show. Obviously, she didn't have time in her life for a gigantic alien boyfriend when she was about to have all her work dreams come true. Obviously, she could control her urges. At just that moment, he locked eyes with her and smiled. Something warmed and loosened in her chest as she smiled back at him. "Hey, a service station," Kent called out. "Can we stop?" Sure enough, there was a little gas station on the side of the road. Up front, the driver's walkie-talkie buzzed. "Cameraman says let's gas up here," the other driver's voice said fuzzily. "Okie dokie," their driver replied, pulling in. The van bumped onto the gravel driveway and came to a stop in front of the pumps. Wayne followed the others to the